What's happening, everybody? I'm Steve, and welcome back to Junkdrummer TV, where I give my initial reactions, my hot takes, and my analysis on the drummers of today and yesterday, and maybe tomorrow if I stick around that long. I'm a professional drum teacher and a gigging musician, and I have been those things for 20 plus years. Before we continue, let's address that meme, shall we? If you are one of the 773 people who include commenters, friends, and family who have sent me the Danny Carey video, of course I'm going to do it. But I've only done like 57 episodes, and I've already done 2 Danny Careys, and I said to myself that I was not going to be one of those view chasers. I feel like if I did another one right now, it would just feel like I'm selling out. I am going to do it, I swear, so you don't have to send me that link anymore. Just let me put some time between the last one and this next one. Now, with that out of the way, you know what we should do today? Let's just talk about drums. Let's not talk about it. Let's not do it today. Fuck it. Let's just talk about drums, shall we? And we're going to do a possible Mount Rushmore drummer today because we're going to be doing Stewart Copeland. I love Stewart Copeland. I love Stewart Copeland. I love Stewart Copeland. He's probably the loudest traditional player. You know, people always think that, like, if you play traditional grip, you're kind of tippy-tappy jazz player. Watch Stewart Copeland. He's loud as shit. Now, I know Tony Williams is really, really loud, but I think he's the loudest traditional player ever. Stewart Copeland is one of those rare beings who has blazed his own trail sound-wise. No one sounds like him. No one sounds like him. He's a lot like Carter Beauford. They have singular styles that are very much their own, and as soon as you, as a player, start playing like that, other musicians in the know immediately that, hey, this guy's copping Stewart Copeland. That dude's copping Carter Beauford. Stewart Copeland has this infectious, weird amalgamation of reggae music and ska music and punk rock music, but then really technical type jazz playing, not like swinging jazz, but like a fusion-y style as well. He is his own thing. There are times when producers will say, hey, can you make this section a little more Stewart Copeland? And drummers, you better know what they mean. Before we get into it, please, everyone, give me a like, comment, and share. Give me a double tap on the subscription and the notification bell. Please check out my brand new merch store, and I also have my Patreon. And for anyone out there, and there's been many people who've asked over the last year, I am now doing Skype lessons. If you would like to do Skype lessons, I am stuck in this townhouse and I ain't got shit to do. And if you are interested in that, please hit me up on my Instagram. Just look up Junkdrummer and I'll show up. And feel free to DM me. If I don't add you, please don't be offended. My Instagram is very boring. My Instagram is full of pictures of all of my woodworking projects. It has very little to do with music, so don't worry about that. So now, let's get into the man of the hour. Too sweet to be sour, because he is kind of sour. Stewart Copeland with The Police playing Message in a Bottle. This is obviously the first song of the concert. If you've ever hit a big-ass gong, there are very few feelings in this world that's better than that. Yes, Andy, yes. Yes. If you don't like this band, just keep your shit in the case. That is an all-time signature bass guitar. I think that's the Telecaster bass. I think it's like a 54 or some shit like that. Okay, so right there, let's talk about what we're doing here in a verse. One of the reasons that the Police are so beloved is they are that rare breed of band that kind of played in a virtuosic manner. I don't know if virtuosic is a word. I'll make up my own words here. They played virtuoso, but they still made pop hits that you love. So the over-the-top, sometimes over-the-top playing did not take away from these perfect pop masterpieces. Right here you're hearing the cornerstone of his playing. You know, he's playing Four on the Floor, and you know, he is a Jamaican drummer that forgot to get high and drank like 8 monsters. That's what you're going to hear today. You know, the big rub on Stewart is he pushes the tempo. And he does. He's not right here, though. There's another big cornerstone. Notice that drum fill right there. If you listen to reggae music at all, their drum fills are very timbali sounding, you know. And they do a lot of crashing on the snare drum with the crash. So you're like, and that's from timbali playing. Because when you're playing a timbali and you have your crash cymbal there, when you go, a lot of times you go to do your big punctuating crash, you play that snare drum behind it, or that timbali behind it, and you will see a lot of those drum fills here today. This is another analyzed video because I obviously know this song. There it was again. I'm going to stop a lot. I know this song really well, and I love him. He has the most violent rim click ever. Side stick, rim click. I call it a rim click. You know, most of the time when we do a rim click, you know, we kind of mute the snare drum with our palm, and we rotate hinge back here and, you know, do that. Every time he does a rim click or side stick, he's doing this. Like he gets the most aggressive rim click in all of drumming. Andy is the unsung hero of this band. Because Stewart and Sting are so just, you know, famous, Andy was the fucking guy in this band. Guitar players probably know that. But when you think Police, you think Sting Stewart. There's another drum fill with that crash with the snare drum. He's just doing amped up reggae drum fills. And you know, Sting played very much like, you know, the bass player, like the English version of the bass player for the Wailers. That's why he has all those octabands. This is stuff that's not in the original. Those octo bands or octo bars sound like tamales. His cymbal work is so crisp. He's always propelling the groove along with hi-hat stuff. A lot of fusion guys, I think, choke the groove with a lot of overly ambitious hi-hat. His hi-hat playing always moved the song along. That's that pasty or piced, I don't know how to say that word. Signature ride that he's got there. Man, Stewart, dude, don't wear the t-shirt of the band you're in. Come on. He's got the Synchronicity shirt on. You're going to sell the merch, bro. This is the best in-shape old band ever. I've seen the Stones as an old band, and these guys look spry. I mean, shit, man, they're in their 60s. He looks great. He looks better than I do. Right there, that is just classic, you know, Stewart taking that fusion of reggae drumming, that it wasn't exactly that, but a lot of those syncopated notes are in that drum fill. That was just all easing us. If you were to write down the elements that this band takes from, you would say this was never going to be one of the biggest bands, biggest selling popular bands ever. It doesn't seem like it should work. Damn, Sting killing it right there. Woo! Woo! You know, and we didn't really see a lot of on top of the beat playing. There was, but not nearly. Maybe age has mellowed him, but you know, when you always think of like rushing drummers, Stewart's first one you think of, and he was a little bit more back on the beat. It seemed like farther along you went, he would get a little on top. One of the things he does really well, G-Chop guys do this too. They'll be in the tempo and they're grooving, and then they'll play a drum fill that rushes just a hair, just enough to give that drum feel like a little excitement, a little yummy in it, and then after the end of that drum fill, bring it right back and move it back down to the original tempo. You do not have to have perfect drum machine tempo sometimes. I strongly encourage all of you to watch that Rick Beato. First of all, if you're not watching Rick Beato, what are you doing watching me? That Rick Beato video where he broke down and quantized, I don't know how to say it, the John Bonham Full in the Rain, and that groove does this time-wise, and he snapped it all to a grid and made it perfect, and it destroys that groove. In today's day and age, we're too married to the metronome. I always think of the metronome as a reference point, and when I'm recording or playing live with one, because I do that a lot too, I don't mind to push and pull as long as I'm not going from 90 to 95. I don't really care to go to 90 to 92 sometimes, and Stewart was the master of that. So that is the beginning, I guess, of kind of the masters that I need to get to. I've been doing a lot of newer drummers. And man, we got to go back and check out these cats, right? So, Stewart Copeland, if you're not listening to the police, you're probably not watching this video, because they're one of the greatest bands of all time. And it was so good that they got back together again. If you know anything about the inner workings of that band, Stewart and Sting do not play well together. They're fucking assholes to each other. And they're two real headstrong people, if you've ever read about and or watched any of their interviews. And we couldn't even believe it that they got back together. I saw this in 2008 with my band. Actually, the bass player from that band, who's now in Nashville, watches my videos. And I was sitting right beside of him. And it was just a goosebump thing. When they came in and played the first notes, it was just goosebumps I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. They were so great. They were so unique. I said that before. If you said, I want to put this band together that's kind of new wavy, and they're going to add ska and reggae, and they're all going to be two white dudes from England and one white dude, I think he's from, I don't know where Stewart's from. And we're going to have reggae and ska and like, new wave influences with a jazz guitar player, and we're going to sell 150 gazillion records, and people would be like, no, you're not. That's never going to happen. That's always interesting to see a band get to such a high level and be so unique in their approach. And I think that's why people love the Police so much. So, if y'all enjoyed all that, please remember, like, comment, and share. Patreon, merch table, merch store. Everyone, please stay safe. Please stay kind to each other. And remember, keep practicing until it's easy.